How surprised were you that Classic Empire was able to, or unable to hold on down the home stretch?
Again, it was just, according to Cassie, it was that he'd lost his partner in the speed duel. You know what it's like, Alexa, is that if you and I were running a 40-yard dash against each other, not only would you beat me by a long way, but my time would be faster in the loss because I'd be chasing you. If it was a case where I was running against Michael and I was blowing past him, well, I wouldn't have anything to chase at that point once I got past him a couple 20 yards down the road. And that, in all seriousness, that's what Cassie believes happened to Classic Empire, that once Always Dreaming started to make that big fade in the second turn, well, then Classic Empire lost his target, and that was what happened there. Remember, Cloud Computing came from behind and beat him in the last 100 yards, and so that was when the target would finally appear, and by then it would be too late to catch him.
You know, I would run like a senior investment, Ron. I would wait, maybe wait too late to make my push, but man, when I made my push, I'd make it exciting. I was really high on senior investment to hit the board, and it did. But I was thinking maybe go a little higher. What stood out to you? What were some of the surprises from what you saw on Saturday?
Senior Investment was an interesting case because before the race, when he was in the saddling area on the turf, he was acting up, even reared up on his hind legs a couple of times. Wouldn't allow the rider, Channing Hill, to get aboard him. But finally, he got on, and when he walked from the turf course onto the dirt course, it seemed like he was calmed by being on the dirt. So at that point, it was like, okay, well, he's all spent. He got acted up. He just didn't want to be on grass. and who among us can relate to that? But once he got out onto the main track, he was himself, and he didn't spend all his energy in that earlier episode in the parade area. And so now you say, well, okay, you want to talk about a surprise. That horse had a lot left in him. Interesting then that they're going to bring him back to the Belmont Stakes. So a big closer there. If I'd have played this right, I mean, it's the old thing when you hindsight your best. If I looked at what I said on your show 2 weeks ago, what I should have done was take the horses I really like, Cloud Computing, Classic Empire, and Senior Investment, put them on top and in the middle of a trifecta play, and then hit all for the bottom. Ooh. And that would have been like a $96 investment to win me $2,200. I should have done that. And it actually would have been a reasonable assumption given how I was looking at this. But the fact is, this was only the fourth time in the last 34 years that a horse won the Kentucky Derby or won the Preakness, I should say, after skipping the Kentucky Derby. So between Cloud Computing winning and Senior Investment hitting the board, big surprises there. And don't overlook Looking at Lee finishing fourth after finishing second in the Kentucky Derby. And that has fueled Steve Asmussen into saying that Looking at Lee will be back for the Belmont Stakes.